All right, in this video, we're in the Disney Princess Healthy Treats Cookbook, and we're making something Ariel inspired called Ariel Nori Veggie Rolls. And here's a picture. So it's veggie rolls sushi. I don't want to call it sushi. I think they just call them veggie rolls because I think sushi implies there's definitely some sort of fish in it. And that would be really disturbing if Ariel were eating fish. I mean, come on, let's face it. Like, you know, how do you have that conversation with Flounder? Okay, I'm going down a dark path. Anyway, so basically we're taking sushi rice and we're gonna make sushi rolls, but we're gonna use carrots, cucumbers, and avocado. And this is my first attempt at actually ever making sushi and rolling it. So you'll see some clips of how it went. First up, I wanted to show you the veggies, and I prepped the veggies. I had to take carrots and cucumbers and cut them in kind of like matchstick shapes, and then I sliced an avocado as well. And these are the veggies that will go into the roll. Okay, so the first thing I needed to do was make sushi rice, and I did that according to the package directions of the sushi rice that I bought. Now what I'm doing is taking the rice and adding a few ingredients to it. I just put in some rice vinegar, and I'm grabbing my measuring spoons here as I get ready to add the other ingredients, which is some salt, and it says a non-caloric granule sweetener. So I'm just using Allulose because that's what I've used before in this Healthy Treats cookbook. So after I get this added with the salt, I'm going to kind of stir it and let the sushi kind of cool some as I get ready to prepare my rolls. Okay, now it's time to prepare and roll the sushi rolls. So I got my nori seaweed sheet, and as you can see, I've got this mat here. This is a mat that I purchased that's specifically for rolling sushi. I watched a few videos, and it mentions potentially putting plastic wrap on it, so I did that as well. But anyway, the first thing is I take the one side of the sushi, I think it's the shiny side, and I add the rice. And I'm going to kind of spread that around with my fingers. You might notice off to the side there that I have a bowl of water. And that's to kind of keep my fingers wet because that will help make spreading the sushi rice a little bit easier. I have the rice prepared, and this is something I'm doing that wasn't part of the recipe, but I had seen it online and I had it, is I have some black sesame seeds. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle the black sesame seeds on top. Now I need to carefully flip my sushi roll over so that the rice is on the outside and I can put the veggies on the other side. And you can see it's kind of sticking to my plastic a little bit. So just kind of being careful here. And I've just decided to put it directly on the mat and use the plastic to flip it over. Now it's time to add the fillings, and it basically says near the bottom to go horizontally and add everything across the bottom and try not to leave gaps. So I'm starting with the carrots, and I'm going to work in some cucumbers, and then I will do the avocado slices last. Vegetables are in place, and now it's time to start rolling the sushi here. And I'm just kind of double checking my instructions and getting everything nice and tight. And I'm going to use this mat and see if I can roll my sushi. Some of the vegetables are spilling out as I do this, as you can probably see. Remember, this is my first time doing this, please. So I don't think I quite did it right because I started rolling the wrap inside the sushi. As you can see, I'm like, oh, wait, no. I need to fix this a little bit. So now I'm just kind of doing it by hand. It's getting rice everywhere. I'm sure you professional sushi rollers are having a good laugh at my expense right now, and that's okay. I was laughing at myself too some as I was doing this. And obviously I use water to wet the ends and stick it together. So there's my first sushi roll. It's not probably as tightly wrapped as it should be. And I'm kind of going over it again to try and make it a little bit tighter, but I do have one more that I'm going to roll as well. So here's my attempt at rolling the second one. I went back to adding the plastic wrap again to see if maybe that would help a little bit with the process, but then, you know, everything kind of gets rolled in the sushi, as I'm kind of quickly realizing. So kudos to all of you that do this all the time. You can see I'm also like kind of like, okay, I'm releasing that as I go. Now I gotta kind of like take the plastic wrap off. But anyway, I'm fiddling around with it a little bit. It's definitely a learning process as I kind of spill everything out. But anyway, that was my second roll sushi, as you can see. So here they are on a plate, and you can see I forgot to add sesame seeds on the second one. And I'm going to cut them into little rolls. And it said the secret to cutting them is to basically, one, make sure that your knife is wet. And I think every so often I dipped it in water as needed. And to kind of start at an angle, like really kind of push down with the front tip of your knife, and then kind of like come down back through the sushi. I think my carrots and cucumbers were a little bit thicker than they probably needed to be, so I had to really be careful as I cut through those on this. Finally, here's me kind of taking apart one of the sushi rolls so you can kind of see how each individual roll turned out. And then, you know, I ate one, my husband ate one. You can see I lost some of the filling there on that one. And we just dipped them in soy sauce. But they were actually very, very tasty. Review time. So they were really good. Obviously, I struggled a little bit with rolling them. They were pretty thicker than I would like them to be, but I think that was part of how I did it. But honestly, for a first attempt at sushi, rolling, even though it wasn't sushi per se, I really thought that these turned out really well, and I really enjoyed them. They were delicious, by the way. They were really nice and light and crisp. Really enjoyed them. My husband's like, these are fabulous. I could eat these all the time. And he was like, I don't even necessarily need the seaweed part of it. He's like, I don't really care. Just give me the rice and the veggies. And like, because he really liked the sushi rice, he's like, I'll just eat this. So yeah, they were really tasty, and they were hitting. Also, I think, you know, they weren't perfect, you know, for just making them for me and my husband or people I care about. Great. I'm not serving these in a restaurant. You know, I'm not going to open a restaurant and be like, hey, come try my veggie rolls. Cause like, yeah, no. But for just me and him, they were really great, and we really liked them. So let's get into the rankings. The first tier ingredients on a scale of 1 to 5. And I'm going to give these like a 1.5 to a 2. Nothing's hard to find, nothing's super expensive, but they're only a little higher because sushi rice can be a little bit more expensive than regular rice. And you do have to use a non-caloric granular sweetener, I think, you know, instead of like sugar, and that can sometimes be a little bit more expensive. But honestly, it's, you know, you get a lot for it too. So it's pretty good bang for your buck as well. So it's probably more like a 1.5. Difficulty level on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is easy and 5 is difficult. You know, I'm going to put it like at a 2.5, like right in the middle. I think it's not bad. You know, it's just that challenge of rolling the sushi. It's a little intimidating, you know, kind of getting it all right, getting your ingredients in there right so that when you roll it, they kind of all stay together really nice and look uniform. Mine did not look nearly as good as this, but again, I still think they turned out in something that was edible and, you know, something that was put together. Would I make it again a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being never and 5 being absolutely? So it's like a 4.5. Not quite a 5, only because I think there's other methods that I could do and still get the kind of same flavors and the results without having to deal with the sushi. But I did buy that sushi mat, so I'll probably have to attempt it sometime. But you'll also see that there's another recipe in the Villains Cookbook that's almost identical to this, but you wrap the sushi a little bit differently. And we'll be making that here actually in the next day or so, and we'll show you that as well. So look for that video.